Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you're living in Los Angeles now, but you're from Italy.
Yes.
So when did you move over?
I'm from Italy, yes, and I moved here about to LA about 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I went to the Musicians Institute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then I decided to stay in this beautiful country.
Good.
Yeah,
good.
and pursue my my dream, I guess. Music. Yeah.
Yeah. Along with so many of us. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What part of Italy did you?
I'm
move
from South Italy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's really small town. Nobody really knows about it. It's called Matera, in case everybody is wondering.
Yeah. And then, so you've been in Los Angeles for 10 years.
For 10 years, yeah.
10 years.
And
so a few of those years
LA,
were at the Musicians Institute.
Yeah, exactly.
And so now in Los Angeles, what are you're doing? You're playing sessions.
So in LA, I'm mostly a session musician and also an artist. Mm-hmm. Write my own music, but also you have to whenever you decide to go with a music route, You gotta always like pay your bills, and you know, so yeah, playing music for like other artists is definitely like something that I do on a daily basis type of thing.
Now, have you been out on the road? Are you doing that sort of stuff?
Yeah, definitely been out on the road, like touring for like other with other bands. But mostly I'm trying to establish myself in LA as a, you know, it's like a guy to call, you know, whenever there's
like
there's a session.
So many of us that you know come out with a dream, you know, and you just want to play and see if you can make it.
Exactly.
So I get it. We're already having a bunch of questions. If you guys have questions, go ahead and type them in. If you can put them in all caps, that helps us to know what to pick out the questions. John is saying, what kind of Strat are you playing? Tell us about your instrument.
Okay, so this is it's an LSL instruments. It's a company based in LA. And what I love about them is that they make their instruments in a really like old-fashioned way. So like everything is like hand-shaped. They even make their own, their own pickups, their own pick guards. Like everything is like handmade, and then that's what I love about them. And they have a great vintage feel. So yeah, that was my, the main reason why I went with them.
Now, I've seen you on the videos online. I've seen you mainly playing Strats, but I assume you play other types of guitars as well.
Yeah. Being a session player, you got to be pretty versatile with your own craft. So sometimes a Strat can do what a Les Paul can do. So sometimes you got to go. And I definitely enjoy playing like Les Pauls or like 335s. Probably more 335s than Les Pauls actually. So I love playing blues. So that's. I feel like those are. But they suit me better. I think. Yeah.
Now, when you were at Musicians Institute, how long is that? Is that a 2-year program? Is that a 4-year program? Or did you complete the program, or did you go just? It kind of
depends. Yeah, I did complete it. I got it's called an Associate of Arts. And that's an 18-month period of time. But you can also choose to do like a bachelor degree, or like I think they're called encores, which is like it's only like a 3-month thing. You know what I mean? But I went with the 1.5 year course.
And was it in specializing in rock and blues, or contemporary guitar, or jazz, or?
So the way that at least I approached it, I basically was changing private instructor like every 3 months, because I wanted to like get as much information, from like the main country guy in the school, or like the main fusion guy, or like get to know their styles a little better, so then I can incorporate them in my own playing.
Right. Well, tell us a little bit about some of your gear that you have down here. Just kind of walk us through your pedals here. Some of those I'm familiar with. Some of those I haven't seen the Blue Ecstasy one before.
Oh yeah, that's a great one.
So talk us through what you got here.
I'm gonna go from the first one, tuner.
Yep.
I mean,
we all
know what they what they do. This is an AC booster made by Exotic. That one I mainly use it with humbuckers. It's got like a really creamy tonality to it that I really like. Even though I'm actually using it tonight with single coils. Then moving on, Tube Screamer. And we all know what that does.
That's the reissue, the TS-808
that's the
reissue there?
It is.
Yeah. Boy, those are great pedals.
And they're, I feel like they're good for like one thing, but they do it like the best that, there's no other pedal that,
If you guys are looking for just when folks ask me, what's a good all-around distortion pedal that's affordable? Boy, you just can't go wrong with a regular old slime green Tube Screamer.
Yes.
TS-808.
Totally agree.
Ibanez, they're probably $100 or less, and you can dial in some amazingly nice sounds on those.
Yeah,
yeah, it's a great little pedal.
It's definitely, I love it for, especially with strats. You know, it gives like a nice like mid-range. That just makes it cut through and gives it weight.
Yeah. And then what's the blue one? Oh, that's the one I'm not familiar with.
The blue one, this is made by Bogner.
Okay,
Bogner amps.
okay, yeah.
And this is basically a replica of their Ecstasy Blue amp.
Oh, it's an amp, kind of an amp modeling sort of a.
It's a well, it's not really an amp modeler, but it's like a preamp based. Type of pedal, and I really like, you know, it's got like the EQ is actually amazing on this. It's like really precise, so you can, you know, dial in like great tones. It's got a boost, and then all these switches, you know, they go from like a more modern sounding amp to like a more like vintage. So yeah, but this is great. I love it for like the texture that it gives to the sound. And I've been using it on my board like since day one. Never left my board. Yeah,
Bogner puts out great stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Got the Strymon timeline for delay.
Delay. Yeah, we'll call it. I mean, that's more like a computer. That
yeah, those things are heavy duty.
That pedal, because it's just, you can do so much with it.
Yep.
You know, being a session player, sometimes you need a shimmer sound, or like you need a reverse delay that I normally don't use. But you know, sometimes.
Can you walk us through a couple of sounds with that?
I can.
Strymon, if you guys aren't familiar with it, Strymon, S-T-R-Y-M-O-N, they put out just really high quality, studio quality effects on a board. They're so versatile. Boy, on so many of the studio boards here in town, you'll start to see Strymon, especially the timeline.
Yeah, they make great stuff. So let's see. So actually, I'm gonna bypass everything else. So this is just that pedal now. This is one that I made for it's a preset for one of the bands that I've been working with, and then obviously tap tempo. And then I'll just show you like a few. I'm just gonna tweak.
No, you do your stuff.
This sound. So let's see the. So it gives
really
you like
cool.
a shimmery effect. Then obviously, you know, with the tap you can control. And what's great about it, I don't have it with me right now, but you can hook up an expression pedal.
Yeah.
So you know, sometimes delays can get a little out of hand. You know, a little crazy. So there's that. There's one with the lo-fi. Let's see. Yeah, it kind of messes up the sound a little bit. Yeah.
Very cool. Okay, I see also you have a good old MXR Phase 90.
Yeah, which it's another pedal that you just can go wrong with, you know, whenever you need.
Play a little bit of that sound so folks can. This is what a phaser sounds like. Just a little bit of movement in that sound works great on ballads, on slow sort of things. Just gives a little bit of movement in that sound rather than a static sound.
That's actually a setting that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
So yeah, they definitely used this pedal a lot.
Okay. And then
then we got Carbon Copy.
Yep.
Which I mostly use it as a slapback delay.
Okay.
I just love the sound. But it's great. It's great for, like, you know, as a general analog delay.
Yeah.
Really warm sounding.
Yeah.
Then moving on, we got Reverb, another MXR pedal. So this one I really like it because it's a really versatile pedal because it's got 6 different reverbs in one unit. So you know, you can get from the classic plate, spring, and then I really like this pad mode, which it's another shimmer type of effect. So yeah.
Claudio's got his board set up in such a smart way. So those of you, we have lots of questions about you know, what order pedals should go in and things like that. So this is a very smart way to do it. First thing you do is you run in through a tuner. You're running through that boost. I'm using a Comp 66 by True Tone, which is kind of doing the same thing. It is boosting and kind of making my signal so it's not going to jump out, and opens it up a little bit. Then you go into your distortion overdrive sort of effect. So you hit your he's got a tube screamer. I've got the Jekyll and Hyde and the Visual Sound VSXO for distortions. After that, you go into your modulation sort of effects. Time Live, the phaser is right after that. After that, you get into your delays and reverb. So it's just, I mean, textbook how those should be lined up on your board. And it's a great, very smart way to do it. Let's get to a couple more questions. John is saying, is Claudio self-taught before Musicians Institute, or did you have a teacher growing up? Did you come from a musical family?
I did come from a musical family. My dad is he plays guitar. That's more like a hobby though. It's not, but actually, most of my life was just like I grew up as a self-taught. I did take a few lessons with you know, with a local teacher. And then, you know, I just learned like a few things from him, but that just opened up like a new a world of like things that I could just explore by myself. I'm the kind of guitarist that I try not to go by like licks, like by like learning licks. I'm more of a, you know, I've been doing like a lot of ear training, so I go by ear whenever I have to like solo and stuff. Obviously, you know, as guitarists, we always have, you know, those sweet spots where we, you know, tend to play a little more. But yeah, I've been trying not to follow like schemes and you know.
Someone is asking, who were some of your main influences?
Main influences, okay, that's another good one. We can talk about it for hours. Guitar-wise, I'd say my main influence is Michael Landau.
He's the man.
And if somebody doesn't know who he is, he's one of the most successful session players in LA. And it's just the amount of creativity that comes from one person. I never really seen it with anybody else. And he's also mainly a Strat player, so you know, that kind of really goes, really works with me, with my style. But obviously, you know, Stevie Ray Vaughan, for sure, B.B. King, Alfred King. Let's see, oh man, so many. Philip Sayers is a great guitarist. John Mayer,
of course.
For sure.
Charles is asking, what amp are we running there behind you? This is an amp that we just had here at the store. This is a Fender Deluxe Reverb. I don't think it's particularly old. It looks like a 2002 from what the thing is saying. The tag is saying, and it's a good standard little Deluxe Reverb. Very clean sort of an amp. A lot of punch you can get out of those.
I like to crank them up. You know, those they give out like a nice sound. Something
about opening up an amp. You know, some amps they just don't give you what you want until you reach over a certain level and get those tubes activated. Definitely. So it just doesn't work at a lower volume. Some amps do, but some wonderful tube amps, you may listen to it quiet and you go, gosh, the thing doesn't work at all. Then you just crank the thing up and it just suddenly opens up and those tubes are doing what they should, and next thing you know, it's great. So it so much just depends on the type of amp and the sounds that you're going for. Let's play a little bit. You want to let's do that slow E blues we were working on. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Gorgeous. All right, let's talk about some of the things. Now, in 2013, you won the Guitar Center's Blues Competition. Tell us about that with Joe Bonamassa.
Yes,
was hosting that.
Yeah, I was runner-up for that.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You were one of the top finalists.
10,
that's
top
right.
10, yes.
It's the next one that you won. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty incredible.
Yeah.
When I got the email that said, "Oh, you might be one of the 10 finalists
Thousands.
for this."
Yeah, I think it was 2,000
2,000
plus.
It's all between it's all players from all over the United States. And I was like, oh my God. Got the confirmation, and then I got to share the stage with such a blues legend. Yeah. And that was a pretty crazy experience. Yeah, I must say.
Now, but is it 2016?
2016.
You were the actual winner of the Guitar Center competition.
Yes, called On Stage with Vince Gill.
With Vince Gill.
Again, even more than the first one. For this one, now for this competition, there were, I think, over 6,000 players, or like 6,000 submissions. And I made it, to the top 5 at first, and then we all played. Me and the other 4 finalists, we all played at the live at the Mint. We all, got to choose one of Vince's songs. And there was just it's an amazing night. I wasn't, I wasn't really expecting, just sometimes you feel like, oh no, of course I'm not gonna, because all the other players, they were like really good players also. So, it was I'm sure Vince had a hard time. Yeah. But that was great. And he's such a, he made, what I loved about him, because I obviously, I got to meet him. That was my, first time that I got to meet him on stage, when we were doing sound check for the show. And what I loved about him, he made me feel like we were friends. We've been friends for like 20 years, and I just met him. And that was great. It made me feel like really comfortable on stage. And
we've got a couple questions here, and then I wanted to ask you a little bit of stuff as well. Skip is asking, how important is sight reading in your work as a session musician in Los Angeles?
Okay.
Do you have to read very much in your work out there?
Not really.
Okay.
No, they usually the most sight reading that I've been doing has been like chord charts, which I don't even know if we can call it sight reading at that point, because it's a much simpler way of sight read. But it's I never really been in situations where I was presented with actual
it's a hit and miss thing. You need to know how to do it.
You need to exactly. It's definitely so important to do that, and to be able to do that. I personally, I have to admit, I've never been a great sight reader. But if it just depends. It's not really a requested thing, or maybe not so much anymore. I guess. Maybe it was.
And it depends on the type of work that you have to do. I was talking with Michael Rapole, Nomad Rapole, a Los Angeles guitarist, and he was saying one of the first sessions that he ran across that in Los Angeles. Oh, I'm going to botch this story. But he came in and thinking it was a regular session. They wanted kind of Latin nylon string guitar work.
Okay.
He comes in there, and it is very different. It is just him. There's a stool, there's a stand, and countless pages of music on it. Behind him is a screen with Angelina Jolie on it, and he was recording the soundtrack for, I believe it was Mr. and Mrs. Smith or whatever the movie was, and he was doing guitar cues for it.
Oh, okay.
And very written out guitar cues. So that was his story about needing to know, recording in the studio. It's not something.
Yeah, definitely.
It's 98% boredom and 2% absolute panic. So that is, we've all got our stories on that. Funny, it's hit and miss. In Nashville, we don't have quite as many reading things with notes. You always are either doing something with a written out chart or just a handwritten number sort of system. I don't know if y'all do much with numbers out in Los Angeles.
We do both, actually. Mostly letters.
Yeah.
But I've done, I do both. Yeah.
In Nashville, it's a little bit more of a cultural thing. You'll see a lot of number charts, the Nashville number system. So it's just a lot of number stuff, and they'll throw you out a page that looks like a science equation, and you got to try and figure out a tune from it. But it's a lot of fun. Different skills that you need to have to be a musician.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't never know what you're walking into.
Definitely helps to be a good cyber.
Yeah. It's daring. It's gutsy to try and be a guitar player in Los Angeles. You have my ultimate respect.
It's yeah. There's definitely there's a lot of competition.
Yeah.
Also, it's really easy now to call yourself a guitarist. Like a lot of people just feel that entitlement.
Yeah.
And, I've seen a lot of them. But yeah, it's also I mean there are also a lot of like great musicians. So every day you're competing with great players, and that's why you always got to be on top of your game.
But if you want to do it, you conquer your fears, you practice like crazy, and
that's how you do it. Yeah, you play as much, you play out as much as you can, so people get to meet you, get to know you, and they know how you play, and then and eventually you want to show them that you're a reliable person, all that stuff, everything that comes with it.
So much of it is relational.
A lot of it.
There's so many great players. It's not. You'll find out very quickly. It's not all about who's the best, because everybody's great. But if you can show up on time and you're faithful, and folks know they can count on you.
Yeah, if you know how to, even behave with people, that I've seen a lot of like weird stuff in LA. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So that counts. That's it's a big part of like being a work.
Yeah, it's business, and you got to just get things done, and timelines and deadlines and crank out parts and things like that. It just is in any profession. Okay, a couple more questions, and we got to get out of here. Charles Chuck is asking, what gauge strings do you favor on that Strat?
These are 10s.
10 to 42?
The standard 46. No, 42. 42. Okay. Yeah.
What company?
These are the Dario strings.
Great strings.
Yeah, I believe they're called NYXL.
Oh yeah, I've heard great things about.
I don't know if it stands for New York XL.
I don't know, but I've heard great things about them.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah.
Before we play one more thing, I wanted to close this out and remind you of a couple things. We've got our guitar gathering. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Instagram now. So we've got our. Please follow us in all of those different places if you're on those different platforms, and keep up with everything that we're doing. We're trying to keep things fresh, and then especially you're watching us now on our YouTube channel. So go ahead and click subscribe down there, and every time we go live, you will get a notification for it. I think we got 13,000 plus subscribers now, a couple of million views that folks have done over our time that we've been putting this up. So if you like us, please subscribe to us on YouTube. That will let you know every time we're doing something. You've got Claudio, you've got a CD. Jack, tell us about that.
So yeah, that it's an EP of four tracks, and it's divided into two parts. There's an acoustic, like two acoustic tracks, and then two rearrangements of Sleepwalk.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It's just guitars and Little Wing.
Beautiful.
So yeah, I worked on that and I presented it in Japan. I got called for a few gigs with this like Japanese artist, and then I got to play my own sets. So that was it was really cool to present it in Japan. And
if folks want to get in contact with you and learn more about what you do, where should they check you out? Facebook?
Yes, Facebook, Instagram. Instagram is Claudio_Tristano. My YouTube channel is Claudio Tristano Music. Obviously, Facebook. Yeah, that's
great.
Yeah, that's about it.
Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you very much.
What a joy! I know you've had a long day of flying, and you're ready to go to bed, I'm sure. But thank you so much for
exciting stuff. Yeah,
for glad you could do this. Looking forward to the show tomorrow night. I'm sure it's going to be absolutely drop dead amazing. So, There you go. All right, let me turn my amp on, and we'll play something. Pick a key. What key you want to be?
Let's do. What do you see?
C. All right.
So,
I want 2. I want 2, 3, 4. Keep up the great work in y'all's learning. Playing guitar is an amazing thing. It's a lot of fun. And bring people along in your journey as you're learning how to play. That's what it's all about. So keep passing the music on. We will see you guys in a couple weeks when we're back. Keep up the great work.